What's up, everybody? It's BS7 Ninja here today, and today we are back with a fairly big unturned devlog update. I've been watching them here and there, but the one 3 weeks ago is like September 28th or something. Nelson released showing the new car mechanics. If you haven't seen that, I'll put the link to the devlog in the description below. But he just released devlog 16. I think it was what's today? It was released the 12th. Today's the 18th. Oh man, I'm a little behind. It says 6 days ago. But if you haven't seen it already, I'm going to show you right here. We'll go through the whole video because it shows some pretty awesome features that is winter driving along with, we'll show here, it shows like animations of ignition and turning off the engine lights and all of that stuff. Um, but it also shows a photo right here. He said, I'm looking forward to reading. Oh, wait, wrong part. Here's a cool screenshot from the other day showing a dual-handed item. However, it wasn't quite ready to include yet for the video. But when you're driving, you're gonna be able to have items in your hand. So anything that would be um, a single-handed item, I believe, not dual. I'm not exactly sure what he meant by that, but anything that like pistols or hammers, stuff that are one-handed objects, I'm pretty sure. I don't think you'll be able to drive with a rifle and shoot, but maybe I'm wrong. So let's make sure this is, yep, okay. Let's watch this video.
Hello. As you can see, it's very snowy now. After the last update, I was wanting to work on tire tracks for the cars, specifically for like mud and grass and snow. So I decided to start working on that, and next thing you know, Calgary is super snowy too. So that might have been a bad idea, but I'm quite happy with how it turns out. But
Just a quick little pause. If you look right here, I really like that. He'll talk about it in the video, but he included the blinker signals and the speedometer. So that means that
it's cold in here, so let's turn the engine on.
you wouldn't really have to
Now you can turn the engine on and off.
have a separate interface to show how
If we
fast
take
you're
a look
going because it's
outside,
built into the car.
You can see some of the changes to the car that have happened over the last week.
The car just looks
Or,
so
I guess,
good.
Last 3 weeks. There's some steam coming out of the car exhaust since it's cold out. Bigger trucks will have more exhaust, and you know what to expect. As well as the headlights now, it's they don't go into full bright mode when you turn the car on. There's the daytime running lights, and when you turn the low beams on, that's when you'll notice the other like running lights come on, like your brake lights.
I do really like that.
And if you hold down the headlight key, you can turn on your high beams.
Just that amount of detail that he put into it is
You
crazy.
probably use low beams though. And that goes for the interior stuff too. Like if we turn the headlights on, you can see some of the heads-up display turns on as well. That's the speedometer if we drive around a little bit. I'm thinking of doing a few other things like that too. Specifically the fuel gauge. I'm thinking to put it there in the car so that way passengers can see it.
I think that'd be pretty
You can see
cool.
the hand blending into that. Let's see, what else have I been working on? One change is now you can see the signal arrows inside. This is probably not the most important feature, but I keep talking about it. You can also turn on the hazard lights. Oh, and you probably also noticed that there's the glass in the car now, and it does look quite nice with some of the
I
reflections.
love that. That's very. I like the glass, but
It's
the
darker
driving,
when you're looking in from the outside.
like the fact
so
that
it's a
it
bit tinted.
removes the
You
snow
get a good view out still, but you're a little bit obscured.
and then it
And
fills
then
back in.
maybe some fancy cars will have like fully black rear windows to keep prying eyes away. And you can of course open these.
Ah. I just
This
wonder
goes
if you can
into
break the windows
One of the
out.
big things I've been working on was cleaning up a lot of the code from the previous update. One thing with
Because if they're not bulletproof glass and you can bring them up and down, I feel like you could probably shoot the windows out and kill somebody through the car, but I'm not exactly sure how PvP will and like destruction will work with the car. You might be safe if you're in a car. I'm not sure. I just feel like that would take away from the PvP.
developing the game is you have to make it once to know how to do it properly. So the first version was kind of the messy version, and then I was going through and cleaning everything up. And so one aspect of that was splitting everything up into components. And so I talked last update about how I want to fit vehicles that you ride on horseback or something into this whole system. And so part of that is making it so that you can selectively choose which pieces of logic you want to use for your different vehicles. So one aspect of that is the pressurization component. So right now that's used for like when the window opens and closes, you can hear the outside audio. But for a vehicle like a submarine, that'll be used to keep the water out, and so you won't be drowning if you're in your submarine and you have all the windows and hatches closed. Although I don't think submarines have windows. I have a couple notes here.
I don't think submarines have windows.
Oh yeah, and then something like seating, that was also moved to components. So when you sit down in the car, your character is actually very loosely coupled to the vehicle concept. Instead, you're just registered as sitting, and so then that'll be reused for things like mounted turrets or just like a bed that you can lie down on, or furniture, whatever you build.
That'd be cool. I really hope that furniture
Let's see.
You could build a full house
So then, driving around with the engine on, you can see that it leaves these nice tracks in the snow.
That's so
cool. As well
cool.
as you don't squeal everywhere now. It has the sound of rice falling on plastic is the sound of the kind of gravelly sliding for the snow drifting. This is probably good for the engine. I was holding on the handbrake there in case that wasn't clear. And you can see that
I'm ready to do some nasty
well, you
drifts.
can't see the snow falling right now because I haven't added that yet, but you can see the snow filling in over time. But the tracks stay around for a good amount of time, and if it wasn't snowing, I mean obviously it isn't snowing right now, but if snowing were added and it wasn't snowing, then the tracks would just stay there.
Oh, that's cool.
So we can drive around with that.
And you can see where people have drove. Oh, and it even splashes it even adds these little splashes from the water off the snow. I think that's really cool, actually.
Oh, and then one of the really cool things about this that I've wanted to do since I added the puddles to Unturned 3 is if we head over here, whoops.
What the
Okay,
heck?
so there's the collision stuff. There's a bit of a edge there. I just put down this simple road, and so you can see that this cube is stopping the snow from falling onto the road here. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. With Unturned 3, you couldn't interact with anything in the car because your interact was overridden to just exit. Whereas now, one of the other changes I made was making it so that when you want to get out of the car, you have to actually look at the door. I'll probably have another hotkey for exiting the car, but this means that there could be like the hazard lights button to press it, or tuning the radio, or maybe turning the lights on in the car when it's nighttime.
That's cool.
So that's going to open up a lot of other options, especially for cars that like you're walking around, like an RV or something. You want to be able to interact with stuff inside. So now you actually have that option. And also the in and out animations are, let's show that again.
I think adding realistic
Those animations are a lot faster and a little bit more polished now. But we're walking on
animations
down
and stuff
here,
will actually
and
add a lot to the
we're
game.
we've got the concrete sounds, and this doesn't really look like grass, but
You can see the foot
before heading
tracks
back
are
out to the
going to
snow.
be...
And,
Oh, I thought that was me.
Disc space. That's probably fine.
Um,
And so this
When he
also
walks, you
applies
can
to
see
bases.
that there are
So
foot
if you build
tracks.
a base in Unturned 4, and obviously base building is, but I promise this will be in because this is really cool. If you build a base, you'll see the rain and puddles on the top floor, and the snow, but it won't be inside your base. Same with the tunnels in Unturned 3. If you go in the metro, you see the rain puddles. But now, like, you could collect some snow and then melt it on the roof of your base by collecting it up there.
That's awesome. Then rain barrels are not as needed.
Oh, whoops.
You can melt
I also
snow.
didn't do the animations for the ignition keys or anything.
And look at
yet,
the
so I
foot
still need to do
pedals.
that.
They all are integrated and work well.
For the grass, I did something similar to the snow, but right now the weather transitions aren't in place. That's one thing I want to work on for the next update, so we can start to see, how in Unturned 3 it's sort of like Yukon is the snow map and Russia is the autumn map. So right now I'm thinking that there will be certain areas that are like a specific biome, whatever the word is, but instead the seasons will change over the course of the days, and you'll be able to see the snow come down and cover up the trees and everything.
I think that if you are playing or have played Forza Horizon 4. Is that the newest one? The newest Forza game. They added that so like every week in the game is a new season. So you have spring and fall and winter, and it just makes it so the races are different and you have your snow parts. I think that having that in this game would be amazing as well, because you would have to deal with um, freezing. Like you can get too cold in the winter time, where if you're just on one map where it's never snowy, you don't have to worry about that. You don't need uh, campfires, or you don't need to make anything inside your base so it's like warm. You can just live in the game. But now I think if they can make snowy times every few days, or like he's saying, you'll see it during each day, then it makes it a little bit more hard to. You have to prepare for it. You can't just live out in the nice weather, you know.
Then of course there's the speedometer inside now. Oh, the cat just knocked something off the counter. Let's see. Here's I talked last update about the collision stuff, and that also works with the interior-exterior audio. So we crash and but there's also scraping. So if we slide along the edge here.
Ooh, that's.
Let's just back up a bit to get in this gap.
Oh.
So you can see that there's some effects for collisions and stuff, and if we go really fast into a tree, hopefully, cross your fingers that we don't break something. But yeah, so there's different collision effects now. I was hoping to have the passenger animation things ready for this preview, but there is still some engine level changes I have to make. That's one of the things that's really exciting about using Unreal instead of Unity, is already like the engine. I've made a whole bunch of changes to better accommodate Unturned, doing things that just I couldn't do with Unity because it's closed source. I know last time I also forgot to go off the ramp, so let's.
I was
back
waiting
up
for him
here.
to go
Let's
off the
this
ramp so
over
much
there.
in the last video.
There we go. This hill is also pretty steep. That's why we can't drive up it. You'll need. This car isn't the best at going cross-roading or off-roading. So if we try and go up this hill over here, we'll probably get stuck. It doesn't have very much clearance, as you can see. But something like a 4x4 truck with good suspension would get
Oh,
it there
that's
better. Yeah, you
cool.
can hear the sort of chassis of the car grating against the ground there.
It
I'm not
actually
sure if
like high
works
centers.
on snow, but it looks cool. Yeah, so the car's not happy going across that. You don't want to go off-roading in this car. Let me just check my list here. I know I'm a little bit sporadic. Okay, I'll just show you one other thing. If I back up over here, is that now when you're on sloped surfaces, your legs will adapt to the surface.
Ooh.
I know a lot of games have this. I just think it's neat to see it in Unturned now.
That's really, yeah, that's a
But
lot
you
of
see the leg
detail
going
right
up
there.
But yeah, thanks for tuning in this week. Hope to have more for you soon. And I think this is really starting to get pretty polished-ish for the cars. So I'm hoping to have some sort of vehicle demo. Right now my plan is to strip out some of the stuff that's very work in progress still. Like right now all the animations and clothes still need redoing, so I'm thinking of just trying to get rid of everything that isn't the cars and starting to give it out to a few people, but we'll see what happens with that. We know that
112
my
then.
timelines haven't exactly come super true yet. Talk to you next one. Bye-bye.
Yeah, so that is the latest update. I really like it. I think it's going to be an awesome game. I'm going to play a little bit more Unturned 3. So he calls it Unturned 2, but even though it's going to be Unturned 4, it's just how they changed up the numbering. It's going to be like the second version of Unturned, but it's the 4.0 update, so it's really hard to explain. But yeah, I'm going to definitely play some more Unturned once that comes out. I don't even know when they're planning on having it come out. If it's going to be like in the next 2 months or the next like year, I'm not sure. I'm probably going to jump on a little bit of Unturned 3, play a little bit of that still, but I am excited to see what Unturned has in its future. I think it'll be a good game to play again. So thank you guys. Sorry I haven't been back in so long. I got hurt and I'm still injured. I smashed my face on the ground riding at a skate park and BMX and messed my knee and shoulder and wrist and everything up. So I'm kind of out right now, but try to make some more videos soon. And thank you guys, and I'll talk to y'all later. BA7 Ninja out.
Who needs light when we're remote?